Hello, everybody. It's John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope. And this is Troublemaker. His name is Jamie Nelson. He helps to lead social media activities at Operation Hope. I'm also an instigator and a bit of a founder of the Civil Rights Movement, which is a movement I have said is in the suites, not the streets. In many ways, the 20th century was really about moving folks formerly enslaved and burdened with a lack of opportunity, which means all races of people and all classes, moving them from the fields to the factories. Opportunity, social justice, uplift. That took a marching movement. It took democracy. It took people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. giving their lives, putting their lives at risk, marching the streets of America to bring attention to these incredibly important issues, literally laying their bodies down. Now, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a strategist, and he never wanted people like Ambassador Andrew Young. He called him Andrew Young, my mentor, Ambassador Andrew Young, our global spokesman. He never wanted that guy arrested because he knew that something was coming next. Dr. King knew that when he shut down the economy in those small towns, because the majority of the residents and the consumers were of color, he knew that what needed to come next was a negotiation. And he needed somebody who could negotiate, who could operate from their shoulders up. Think, not just their neck down. Fight, walk, protest. That person was Ambassador Andrew Young, who took off overalls and put on a business suit and went into many back rooms in the South and negotiated with business leaders to cut a deal, to take down the whites only signs. And in many ways, civil rights gave way to civil rights. Not just in southern towns in the South, but in South Africa, where many of our viewers come from. Apartheid was economic. The problem today in South Africa is economic, it's poverty. And it took companies like those here in Atlanta, like Coca-Cola, to shut down their economic engagement with South Africa in order to break the back of apartheid. But still, the 20th century was about race and the color line all around the world. South Africa, Nelson Mandela, my friend Desmond Tutu. India, Mahatma Gandhi. Ireland, Southern States of America, California, Cesar Chavez. All of this happened and more in the 20th century before he was born. And many paid a price to get us where we are today. But my friend Bernice King, the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King, reminds me that we have to reclaim our democracy every day. Boy, that's relevant in 2017. It's relevant for anybody who didn't vote. It's relevant for anybody who sat on the sidelines and thinks that this freedom that we have will somehow pay for itself. So the 20th century was about moving folks from the fields to the factories. And the 21st century will be about moving folks from the streets to the suites. Economic opportunity, parity, opening of doors, open source capitalism, open source free enterprise, open source opportunity, learning to win your battle from the neck up. About more issues of class and poverty than race and the color line. What did Dr. King say in 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee? You cannot legislate goodness. You cannot force someone, pass a law to force someone to respect you. The only way to social justice in a capitalist country, this is a full quote, is economic parity. That was Dr. King as he pursued the Poor People's Campaign of 1968. A time then and now when there were more poor whites in America than poor anybody else. Dr. King didn't live to see his first march, and so the movement stalled. And then you had other heroes and sheroes. A. Philip Randolph, who really instigated the March for Jobs and Freedom that Dr. King gave his famous I Have a Dream speech during and at. But Philip Randolph doesn't get the respect he deserves, or Whitney Young, or all the other heroes and sheroes of that time. Coretta Scott King, Dr. Dorothy Height, without which there would not have been a Dr. King speaking on the Mall in Washington, because the organizers said to Dr. King, you know, there's been 2 hours of speeches, we're getting tired of all this stuff, Andy, and the audience may be getting a little restless. Can we catch you next time? Dr. King was such a gracious man, he said, sure. But it was Dr. Dorothy Height who said, why don't you give the man 8 minutes? The young people listen to him. What can he possibly do in 8 minutes? And Mahalia Jackson, show you the emphasis on the arts in the movement then and now. Mahalia Jackson said, off to the side, tell him about the dream, Martin. Encouraging Dr. King to leave the script and rap if you want to call it that, on the symphony of his own life. How he wanted to see black children and white children and Jews and Gentiles working together, playing together, living together, loving together. His life gets cut short, April 1968. And we've had a bit of a wilderness period. His last book was Chaos or Community? Where do we go from here? That's a book that you should read. It's a book that would apply today as much as it applied in 1968. And so here we are in the 21st century, his generation, where they got to do something. His generation, you need to do something. You can't wait for anybody else to save you. You can't wait for anybody else to give you your liberty or your democracy. Jamie's doing his part. He moved from Los Angeles to Atlanta. We have other heroes and sheroes. Jennifer Mangon, who's behind the camera, who's now saying, oh, I'm not listening to this. She represents a diverse community, a diverse family, a diverse background. And she's reclaimed her life. She's moved from the corporate space to the community space and using all her skills to lift up every space, every race, every face of people. You see, we're all in this thing together. So we've been talking about the civil rights movement, but not giving it life at the grassroots level. I've been working in the suites. I've been trying to get these corporations to step up and create new policies, new philosophies, new programs, new strategies. And we've had great success in that. We're opening an office a week now with Hope Inside, raising credit scores 120 points in 24 months, because nothing changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. We've got the documentary films. We have Jamie running around with me with cameras and things and working with Ambassador Andrew Young on the documentary Dr. King's Last Flight in Memphis, Tennessee, which should be out later this year on PBS. Working to get plaques put up where Dr. King gave his last flight in the airport in Memphis. It's there now if you happen to go through the airport in Memphis. Renaming the Freedmen's Bank in Washington, D.C. I'm the only American citizen that's not a U.S. president ever to rename a building on the White House campus. And hopefully that's the only time you ever hear me use the word I, but I'm proud of that accomplishment. That's now called the Freedmen's Bank. But more than symbolism is required today. We need not just PhDs, but PhDs too. We need to take social media that your generation has mastered and use it for social good. So I forced Jamie to come on this video with me, and he's sweating bricks right now because he's normally directing me and causing me to riff with no notes. I told him to come up here and join me in the stress and the pressure, because this is an important message that's multi-generational. And I want to make sure you guys get this right. We're taking civil rights to the streets, back from the suites, back into the streets, to bring you back up into the suites. It becomes a virtuous circle where all people get included and all people are empowered. So this is now your time. This is your time to act. So we are launching today something historic. Civil rights clubs. I love that this forces you to slow down. You can't say it quickly. If you say it quickly, it sounds like civil rights. Civil rights clubs, all local, in your neighborhood, in your community, where you now lead the effort. We're going to give you the tools for free. We're going to give you rewards for action. Most notably, you get to now do your own live video broadcast about your own civil rights clubs and activities in your own cities and communities, led by the most active participants in this Straight Talk Civil Rights series that has been going on now for about 17 months. Over 35 million viewers on these videos. But the videos are not enough. It needs you, not just commenting on my notes, but taking your own action on your own notes. Now you are the note maker, not just a note taker. So we're announcing today the launch of these clubs. Jamie and his team have helped to stand them up. Karen Anderson in absentia, Dr. Nita Ward in absentia, all the heroes and sheroes that helped to make this possible in absentia. Thank you very much. And we will be expanding these clubs, but they're going to start with a few where we have a largest engagement from you. So this is all led by you. Some of you have already signed up. You've got some amazing leaders like Yolanda Frazier and H.R. Harris Logistics, Mr. Harris. There are a number of people that I'm thinking about, Zena Knox in New York, who are so engaged in this movement, it is unnatural for you to not take leadership of the local action. So I'm going to now flip it to Jamie so he can fake answers to you about how this actually works. Jamie.
Thank you for that. Hey everybody. So we are, like you said, announcing the civil rights groups.
Civil rights.
See,
I love it. Give it from the camera and he just falls apart.
Civil rights.
Silver rights. This is hilarious. He designed them. He designed them. Can't say it.
All day. So
silver rights. Then when you have big black lips, it's hard. You gotta moisturize them first. Silver rights.
Silver rights. So we're going to be located and starting these groups in South Africa, Atlanta, New York.
No, don't leave the African continent so fast.
Nigeria,
South Africa,
Lagos,
and then there's another country that's sort of on the cusp, which is
Ethiopia.
That's not done yet, but there's a lot of viewers against there too, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of viewers in Nigeria, a lot of viewers in South Africa, where we have an office. And we're going with places that have a lot of engagement. Where else?
Right. So Nigeria is one of the biggest groups, and so that's going to be one of the big ones from Africa that we're expecting a large influx of people to join those groups. We have some in Memphis, we have Los Angeles on the map, and we have Philadelphia.
Atlanta, where I live now. Chicago, I got to help him out here on his own program. Chicago, Detroit.
Yeah.
New York, hey Zena, Houston, good thing I'm here aiding him, huh? Philadelphia, and hey Najee Ali and others, Los Angeles, my birth city.
Mine's too.
You'll be able to do what with these clubs, Jamie?
So in these clubs, you'll be able to actually interact with local members of the civil rights group. So
Civil rights.
Civil rights group.
Civil rights.
I have an accent, I think.
Civil rights. How'd you get a job here? How does this even happen?
I speak a lot of languages, so it's probably that. So
yeah, the one you're speaking right now is nervous.
Right. So
just call them the clubs.
The clubs. So essentially, you'll be able to interact with everyone that's a part of that community. So if I'm in Inglewood in LA and I want to meet up with another person there, this is the group where you guys can mingle, share ideas.
So it'll be a meet in person.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is kind of like the meeting ground virtually. You plan out.
You interact with each other.
In the groups. So when you're doing your live testimonial, you might find out that there's a person up the street from you that's working on this idea or this entrepreneurship or business plan, and you might want to share your input. You might be a graphic designer that you want to jump in and help this person out, or
so it's encouraging folks to take action in their local community and maybe even do business with each other.
Exactly. Okay. And so using kind of the videos that you normally do every week, using that as kind of an inspiration to kind of motivate the group to do something, do action. So definitely like with your one word series. Taking that like depression and having the whole group and that community discuss what that means to them, seeing how they can apply that into
local programs, to local churches to help people get support,
exactly.
Getting local psychologists together to donate services to provide people with mental health in that local community, in this example of Inglewood, so they don't have to feel shame that they're dealing with depression. So it's local action on a national topic. So think local, or think global, act local.
That's it.
And people can do their own videos?
Right. So in the group, you can actually go live. We actually encourage it. Every week we'll have a themed week. So
hold on. I want to repeat this. You can go
live. Yeah.
You can argue with me on live video now. You don't need to listen to me. John, you're right. You don't know what you're talking about, man. Okay, now you can do a video yourself.
Do it yourself, right.
And then I can argue with you. I get to go on your photo stream, your stream, and argue with you.
True. So we definitely encourage that. So go live, share your story, share your journey as you become builders in these communities. If you want to start something up, maybe you want to ask a question, and maybe one of your community might be able to help you out and kind of give you some assistance. So definitely use this as a networking opportunity to meet your locals in your area.
So it's like a closed-in Facebook for Civil Rights X City.
Correct.
Led by the most active
community members of those cities.
And is it staffed by Operation Hope?
Yes, so we would definitely be encouraging a lot of the activity, and so we'll be standing by for any kind of resources you guys may need. If you guys want to connect with the local Operation Hope, we'll make sure you get the right coach that's specialized in whatever you're interested in. So
through Hope Inside Network?
Hope Inside Network, so home ownership, small businesses, so the whole gamut of the services that we provide.
Also Banking on Our Future, the youth financial literacy work.
Yep.
Hope Coalition America work. So all that youth and adult work, right?
Correct.
And is it resource? Like, are we giving them tools to start?
Absolutely. So as soon as you get started, we're going to give you a worksheet that has in detail some of the activities you can get started. The cool thing about this worksheet is that they're tied to a point system. So every time you engage or you post or you go live, you actually will gain points, and you can actually rank up within your group.
Do I get free stuff?
You'll get free stuff, right?
Whoa, free stuff! Do I get gear? What do I get?
So there's a range of things from hats to the latest books to even getting a ticket to our annual Hope Global Forum meeting.
Whoa! That's real money. That's like that's like $3,000. We give them real stuff.
That's happening.
God, you guys taking my revenue from me. Happy to do it.
So.
So they can come to the annual meeting at no cost.
Correct.
Through engagement with this program.
Correct.
And they get gear also, you said?
Correct. So that's hats, that's books, that's shirts, t-shirts, jackets, all Hope gear, and some of John's stuff as well. So his gear as well, BGM gear as well. So a lot
sorry, this is the millennial generation. Everything's an acronym. That's Bryant Group Motorsports Academy and the Civil Rights Movement and Operation Hope. Yes, let me help you with this so you have a job tomorrow because your boss is probably watching you. All that stuff is free as a result of your achievement in the clubs.
That's right.
By the way, he does a great job. I love teasing. He does a fantastic job. He did this video that promoted the clubs earlier today. He's done a lot. Have you ever seen photography of mine that looks professional? He did it. He's really sharp. I give him a hard time because for some reason I like him. I'm not quite sure that worked out.
Thank you.
So, okay, people are listening, watching, they're going, okay, this is fantastic. What do I do?
So first thing you want to do is sign up for the group. And so if you check out our John's Facebook, on the video and also
John Hope Bryant Live.
John Hope Bryant Live, and also this post, we're going to share the link that goes directly to the website that has all the groups listed. And so it's a really nice landing page. Just click and join.
Is there a fee?
There's no fee. It's absolutely free to join. We encourage you to invite people that you may know that want to get some of these resources, or friends and family.
No bums allowed.
No bums allowed. People who are encouraged by this kind of messages that want to change the world or change their community. So
as long as you're positive, you're invited.
True story. So yeah, it's free to join. So they can do that today, starting today. It's open for all the cities.
And then do they have to wait for the curator, the leader, to give them permission to start engaging, or do they start engaging immediately?
So there is a moderation period. So thanks for asking. So as soon as you join, there is going to be a period where we make sure you are part of that city, that you are a local.
So somebody confirms that you're
correct.
Okay,
correct.
good.
So it's not just anyone from anywhere. We want to make sure the people.
We want to keep your cousin Boo Boo.
Right. If you're part of the Atlanta community, you live here. You want to make sure you're part of the Atlanta community, and that's the group that you're going to be interacting with. Of course, unless you travel around the world frequently, you might want to join other groups as you participate. So it's really where you are.
So basically the moderator will just confirm, like, why do you want to join this group, and then once you answer reasonable questions, they let you join.
Let you in. It's really easy.
Okay, all right. And could I join multiple clubs if I have residences in several cities?
If you do, yeah, absolutely. If you have residents in other cities, or you're inspired by these cities and you feel like you can take local action in those cities, absolutely.
Yeah. So is the going live component, and then having local conversations online, and then having those conversations morph into local meetings, is that like one of the main attributes of these local clubs?
That's huge, and that's a big part of the groups, just to make sure everyone's engaged and live and be able to interact with each other virtually. So I know one of the big call-outs was having a meeting space for people to come and meet each other, but usually finding a place, renting a spot or a venue is usually challenging. So these virtual meeting spots will be perfect for you guys to interact, network, and communicate amongst yourselves.
And I guess as we get to wrap this up, I also heard that you guys are pimping me. I mean, using me, using me as some kind of a guinea pig. I mean, encouragement for the clubs. Is that way?
So not pimping you, but definitely you guys can, as you interact and do more things and rank up in your groups, there is an opportunity to have John meet with you guys and maybe do like a coffee chat with
in
them.
person or by online?
It'll be a mixture of in person, and definitely we'll probably be going live during that interaction as well. But definitely it'll be an in-person meeting. A quick little, pick his brain a little bit. Maybe pitch an idea that your community is working on, and maybe he can give you some insight on how you guys can make that work in your local community.
So if I'm traveling to an area and there's a hot club that is really engaged,
yeah,
you might have me drop in, have dinner, and at the very least you get a free meal on me.
There you go.
Fantastic. Good. All right. Well, let us know what you think about this. Let us know this is your community. These are your clubs, and they'll all tie back up to the Civil Rights Movement page on, well, nothing's more embarrassing than when I call it civil rights, because I've been talking too fast. It's civil rights to silver rights. You just have to slow it down. Silver rights. You just have to slow it down. There'll be a Civil Rights Movement page. There is one that ultimately all this stuff will tie up back to. So there'll be somebody curating that page overall. Your local pages will get, will be led by you. We're going to be opening additional cities, so if you want to take action, raise your hand, and then as we open up Operation Hope offices, we'll have those offices serve as sort of a collaborating support system for you in the local community, so that all this becomes extraordinarily real in your life. And as we gain more tools and resources at Operation Hope, we're going to pass those tools and resources on to you. So it's starting with downloadable program material, the Curriculum for Banking on Our Future, free. The Curriculum on Financial Literacy, free. The FDIC Money Smart Curriculum, free. The Emergency Financial First Aid Kit, we coordinated with, created with Homeland Security, free. The Services of Hope Coalition America, downloadable with all the details, free. The how-to guides on how to become a Hope Corps volunteer, teach a course in dignity, free. Open source software, and as we gain more knowledge and resources, and as our partners push opportunities to us, we're going to push those opportunities to you. We're going to try to figure out some way for you to actually pull your credit report locally yourself with some kind of a voucher from us. That is coming. It's not right now, but your credit report will get your credit score free, but you got to be a member of one of these clubs and you got to be active. I think one of the great things about these clubs, Jamie, is they should do local 700 community clubs tied to the local clubs, where you guys get together with each other. You know, guys are stopping me at airports and saying, "Hey, I'm 556. Hey, I'm 692." People shouting out the credit score. You guys need to. And that's fantastic. You guys need to do that with each other and encourage each other and really work to get that local credit score up. And then maybe you can even start investment clubs. Don't blame us if you make the wrong investment, by the way. Start local investment clubs using fractional share investment, a tool that I share with you. Is all this stuff that I'm talking about you can begin to do locally, including buying real estate. But if you buy the wrong piece of real estate, don't blame it on me. Okay, so I love you guys. There's no fee. There's no hitch. There's no catch. There's only love.
Right.
Us loving you. This is a movement. This is the Silver Rights Movement. Jamie and I will respond to comments offline, and make sure you tease him unendingly on not being able to say civil rights when he worked here.
Long day.
Whatever. Love you guys. Unbought, unbossed, and unbiased. Coming to you straight and no chaser from Atlanta, Georgia. Watch Jennifer. Delete those.